Good morning. It's August 1st, 2013. Sorry, I lost my mind for a second. I want to start by saying that I am not a potter. I'm more of a painter, but I've been learning ceramics and throwing pots and making tiles. Today I'm going to build a Raku kiln because I've got some saggers firing in my kiln right now, my electric kiln, to fire some burnished pots in. So what a sagger is, it's two bigger pots that you put a smaller pot inside with wood chips, pieces of copper, salt, and it makes these nice colors on this burnished pottery. So I've got to build the Raku kiln because I don't want to fire combustibles in my electric kiln. So I guess we'll get started. Okay, I think we're on. This is all the parts for my Raku kiln. So I've got a metal garbage can, which will be the kiln. I haven't decided yet if it's going to be top loading or a top hat style. I'm leaning toward the top hat. Got the ceramic wool, which will be the insulation inside the garbage can. My little buttons that I made that will hold the insulation to the sides. The nichrome, which I think is nickel chromium wire, which is a high temperature wire to hold the buttons on. I've got my soft fire brick to help support the posts, the shelves. I still need to get some regular fire brick just for the bottom. And my burner. I bought this off of one of the ceramic supply places on the internet. I think it's about 160 bucks for the regulator, the hose, the valve, and the Venturi burner itself. I apologize if the volume on this thing is up and down. I haven't quite figured all that out yet. So we're working on it. So let's get started cutting. Alright, got a hole in it. Another thing, you don't want to breathe those vapors. The zinc is not really good for you. But everybody needs a little zinc in their blood. So I'm not going to film the rest of the cutting. I got the other hole to cut. And I got to punch holes in for the buttons for the insulation. And we'll see what we got in a minute. I'm trying not to knock it over. Perfect. Alright, so I've got on my valve set from yesterday when I got the 1600 and held it. Let me put my thermostat in here. Ambient temperature right now is 74.4 degrees. Alright, so we're going to light the fire. See what we got. God help us. Okay, I may have to make a few adjustments. I don't want to bring the temperature up too quickly. They say it should take 20 or 30 minutes. I hit it pretty quick yesterday. Okay, it's been 2 hours since we finished. I ran it at about 1600 degrees for 20 minutes. And then just shut everything off. It's interesting because I ran out of gas right about the same time that I needed to cut the gas off, so that worked out. You're supposed to wait till these are cool enough to touch with your hand, but I'm tired of waiting. They're about probably 150, 200 degrees. So let's see what we got. Almost all my saggers cracked. I don't think I got hot enough. I didn't get much color on that one. Let's get inside the sagger though. I don't think I was hot enough. There's a little color in the crack on that one. That's it. The white pot did okay. Got some dark colors. I was hoping for some reds. So I'll have to clean these up and see what I ended up with. So you can see that's the red clay body. I didn't pick up a lot of color on it. There's the white one that I had put some dark slit in on some designs. It may look okay once it's cleaned up. The other one didn't crack, but it didn't pick up a lot of color either, so I'll have to figure out what I did wrong. I am going to do a Raku firing later this afternoon. We ain't giving up yet. Just saw a snake up by the back door. Got spiders in the shop, but they're all real little. Plus, I'm not afraid of spiders, but I don't like snakes. I'm going to go back up there in a minute and see if I can catch them with a shovel. So, anyway, getting set up for the Raku. I just want to talk about the snake. Alright, good. Right at 1800 degrees. So we're going to turn this thing off and see what we got. Safety first. Alright, take the thermocouple out so it doesn't hang up. Set it on the Kiln wool. And it doesn't catch the grass on fire. This would probably be more dramatic at night, since you can see the glowing pots. They're not hard to see that they're glowing right now. Alright. My first time doing this, so bear with me. Alright. A little. Give it just a second. Okay, now. That's good. Sure smoking. So now we just let that cool off and we'll see what we got. Alright, again, I'm not very patient, so it's still pretty hot, and I got this one cleaned up before I started filming. I got most of it cleaned up. But this is more about like what I was looking for. I got some really good colors on this. It's kind of hard to see. Let me get it in the shade. So I've got some metallics. So that's pretty. This one has a big crack in the middle of it because I stamped it with my potter's mark while it was still before it Well, actually, it was too dry, and it made a big crack, but it's still pretty. You can tell I'm not. This one I've been wanting to see, and she's hot. This one, because of the type of clay, I'm scared to shock it in the water, so I may wait a little bit before I clean it up. That one's got the water boiling. Oh man, it cracked on me. Damn it. I knew I should have waited. I probably did that. Put me in the water. Darn, that broke. Yeah. Alright, so I learned not to get in such a big damn hurry. And now I busted one of my favorite pieces. Alright. That's a nice looking piece, even if it is broken, so a little epoxy will take care of that. Keep in mind I'm learning as I go, so I'm not even going to attempt to put that one in the water. We'll just wait another 30 minutes or so and then see how she does. Alright, don't mind the Christmas wreath in the background. It's not Christmas, obviously. It's 2nd of August. Alright, the piece I was worried about the most actually turned out to be my favorite piece. I don't know how well you can see the colors. But I've got, I did what they call a galaxy glaze on the inside and outside. I put just about the bottom half inch or so I brushed in turquoise. Right, so I know the light's not good, but this actually came out a copper color where the turquoise was, and I've got turquoise on the top. So I'm guessing the stuff volatilizes and moves. I don't know, but anyway, the dark brown stripes. Supposedly it was. It said Mars, which I would think would be red. It looks red, but it came out just kind of a brown color. So I don't know if I like the color or not. This is on a lightly grogged white clay. It's actually a low-fire clay, which I've gotten rid of all my low-fire stuff, but I like the smooth, I like the effect I get on the smooth clay bottom. So that's pretty neat. So I've got a few more pieces I'm going to glaze, and we're going to fire those this evening. That'll be on a separate video clip. So, let's review. What did we learn today? We learned if you're supposed to wait, you'll end up with this. So, that was my fault entirely. When I put it in the water and it filled up, it was actually boiling from the inside. So, this is an early piece. You can see how thick the walls are because I didn't know what I was doing. I still don't really know what I'm doing, but had I let this cool to ambient temperature, it probably would have been just fine because it didn't crack. It wasn't cracked when I pulled it out of the kiln. So that's my fault. Let's see what else. My saggers need to be bigger. I think based on the temperature reading I had on these Raku pieces that my meter is reading correctly. So I think it was just because I was so tight on the pot with my saggers that I wasn't able to get enough atmosphere around them. So that's something that I'll have to work on. Actually, though, to tell you the truth, I like the Raku better than I do the sagger stuff. Of course, I haven't had a successful sagger fire either. So. Anyway, that's it for this video, and catch me on the next one. Thanks.